Hello, everyone, and welcome to Start Select. We've just watched the PlayStation showcase for the PS5. Nathan, I'll kick it off. We'll start with you.
Well, I think one of the biggest announcements of the whole event was probably Final Fantasy 16 reveal. Also, console exclusive to the PlayStation, so it's going to be on PC and PlayStation, which is a big win. Big win. Obviously, we all know how big Final Fantasy is, and to get the brand new it isn't like an old remake coming on. Brand new Final Fantasy game coming to the PlayStation only in terms of consoles. I think that was probably like their biggest announcement, I think, of the whole day in terms of like unexpected, not knowing it was coming sort of thing. I know it was rumored, but it's nice to have it officially confirmed. I mean, I know you, Stephen, you kind of predicted this, was it, or was it someone else? I'm sure you was predicting Final Fantasy 16.
I said it, but I thought it was going to be a Project Theta, but I'm kind of glad it isn't. It's its own game, so that's kind of confirmed for me, really.
I mean, when me and Adam was watching it, we was kind of thinking it's going to be an MMO, but I don't think it was. Do you think, Adam?
I don't know. It looked kind of MMO-y, but I don't think. I mean, the graphics. The initial thing was that I thought the graphics were a bit disappointing, and that's why you said it could be an MMO. But I think the boss fights, the way it looked, it didn't really look too MMO-y. I could be wrong though.
Look pretty story-driven sort of thing. I mean, what about you, Colin? Is this kind of like the RPG that needs to come to the next gen? Because obviously it's a big name. You know what I mean? I'm sure this or Dragon Quest would have filled it this fight.
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy. To be honest, I've never played a Final Fantasy game, and I don't really intend to. So I have no interest whatsoever in it.
Yeah, I think it looks good. It looks interesting. What do you reckon, Stephen? Would you play it?
Yeah, for me, it's like what Adam said about the graphics and stuff, and like the characters. Not one of them stood out. Like you didn't have like a kind of Cloud kind of looking character, or just the style overall. It didn't look impressive. The gameplay, at first, I didn't know it was Final Fantasy when I saw it. It looked like a hack and slash game. I thought it's right up my street, man. So I'm not too sure, but the combat looked really good, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think on this. Sorry, Adam, go on.
I was just going to say, I got hack and slash vibes as well, Stephen. I got a similar thing from it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's catering towards. I know I've not played 15, but I've seen a lot of it, and obviously the RPG elements kind of like get less and less towards the more action RPG kind of games now. That's what it kind of came across to me. But I do agree with you, Stephen. Like, I think it's a great announcement, and it's definitely got potential to being fantastic. You know, we'll see down the line. But my first impressions is. It does to me. It did look. The characters didn't really stand out to me as well as you, like you just said. But to me, it kind of came across as copy and paste Final Fantasy kind of style. Do you know what I mean? Like nothing kind of like stood out to me as in like this is the next step. Not just like graphically. The graphics weren't like mind blowing, but I don't mind it. They didn't look god awful, you know. But I think that was my disappointment of the Final Fantasy announcement. But like I said. It is a big get for PlayStation and the PlayStation 5 especially. So that's good stuff to them. I mean, is there any games, instead of going through it in order, is there any games that you guys like stood out for you guys personally? Yes, I do.
Thank you. Demon Souls, I am fuming about that, yo. I am fuming about that. I hope that is really early production because it was shoddy as shit. Have any of you guys played Demon Souls or Dark Souls before?
No. I played Bloodborne, if that helps.
Right, yeah. But I mean, like I was saying to you when we were watching it, Nathan, like it was like it was just slashing through people, just putting a shield up and slashing. That's not how Dark Souls or Demon Souls is played. And also, what pissed me off more than anything was the animation. So when the character was being hit, they were just staying still, unless it was a boss, and then the boss would hit them, and they would just fall back. It wasn't like there was any physics which pushed them in a certain direction of the angle they were getting hit in. And I really hope it's early production, because if that's anything resembling the final product, it looks like they're taking a step back.
I mean, was Demon Souls the first one?
Demon Souls was, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's probably what it looks like then. It's just been so long since you played it, maybe.
No, but you don't need to keep it. You don't remake a PS1 game and keep it exactly. There's no reason for the animation to be like that, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, like coming from someone who hasn't really played. To be fair, I have played them, but I wouldn't say I've played enough to say that I understand the concept of it. And I've watched a lot of it, and I know what it's about, the hardcore mechanics sort of thing. And obviously, you're gonna die over and over and over again. But I kind of got to agree with you, Adam. Like, it's not really the game that I think looks disappointing, although that showcase wasn't that well. I just think the gameplay demonstration was a weird one to choose. It was like a speed run, but everybody had one hit, but died in one hit, and that's not what Dark Souls is about. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure there is bad guys that die in very few hits, or maybe there is some that die in one hit, but it's like he just went up to them, slashed them, went to the next one, slashed them, and he didn't even think there was a payoff to it. He just kind of got to the boss fight and then died, and then I was like, I don't think this is showcasing the game in the best way they could, considering this is a massive exclusive. I mean, I don't know if it's coming to the PC, but I'm pretty sure I know it's at least a console
It's a
exclusive.
timed exclusive.
Right.
Is it timed?
Yeah, I just read on IGN about.
Yeah, I mean, so I kind of got to agree with you then, Adam. Like, I don't think this. I mean, whether it's just what they've shown today wasn't impressive, and the game's actually going to turn out to be good. But yeah, I gotta agree. Like, from what they were showing, it just seemed very basic and very like backwards in a way. Like you said, like the hit animations and the block animations. It not putting that in the game correctly kind of takes away the impact of the attacks, and I think that's dead important. Do you know what I mean?
The atmosphere is really important in Dark Souls. Like, no music, or in Demon Souls, there's no music. You hear the footsteps, you hear the clashing, you hear the chainmail, you hear all that, and that's what builds it. What about you, Stephen? Would you play it? Like, was there anything that made it look good for you or not?
No, I said like graphically it looked really good, and I loved the lighting and stuff and the surroundings. That was really good. But I thought the tone of the trailer, like having no music, and I think that's took away from the actual like the trailer itself.
I
mean,
like
it's just
that though.
walking down the corridors, like love tapping these guys one by one until he got to the boss. And on that boss, I kind of wish I saw, that fat one he first fights or something like that, when he was slashing it. I was hoping to see like the cuts and stuff, but it just like splatters of blood.
Yeah,
So
that's
like,
what I mean.
No detail or whatsoever.
It's proper weak.
Yeah, it does seem quite early. Like, considering this was, I mean, obviously, I don't like taking rumors too much into account because it's not their fault if the rumors aren't true. But this was rumored to be, one of the launch games with the Spider-Man game to give it like a big launch. It doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem that way going off what we just saw. I mean, Colin, what about you? What kind of games you personally took away from this the most, if any, or if you got a couple? It's up to you.
Which I forgot about. Is it Deathloop?
Deathloop, okay.
That was really fun. It's like Dishonored, but with a new gimmick.
Dishonored was the game me and Adam was looking for.
I couldn't remember what it was called.
Definitely looks very Dishonored.
Yeah, well, it's made by Bethesda as well, so they probably took like attributes from that game, like the teleport and stuff, and put a new skin on it, and added like a looping mechanic. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but I'm excited to play it. It looks fresh.
Yeah, I mean, Colin, like before we go to like Steven for you, like what you think, but can I just go back to that Deathloop, like, because I'm watching it and I think it's got a good idea, but something's not hooking me on it, and I don't know what would you say is the hook on this game? Is it the loop and the dying constantly, and then obviously replaying the level, but knowing something's going to happen because
figuring out time. I think it's figuring out how to like the best way to go about different situations. Like in Dishonored, sorry, there was like loads of different paths you could choose to get to your goal. I reckon this is the same sort of thing, but with like a looping mechanic. So you got to figure out. You can play it as many times as you want, and there'll be loads of different paths to choose.
Outcomes and stuff.
Outcomes,
like that. No, yeah, that does sound like the interesting part of me. So if I see more on it and it's shown more of that side of things, then I'll see how it goes, because like you said, what you just said, it just that is my interesting part of the game as well. And what about you, Stephen? What was your biggest takeaway in terms of like games or trailers or
I don't know, there's
I feel like we robbed you of the fans there.
No, because I was going to say about Deathloop, that was one of them. Like, I felt like I got the hook on it today, like about when you can kill back same guy, the guy with the glasses in that area, or you can make him do something to have a meeting with the other target, and then you can kill two targets in one go. And that's the thing I wanted mainly, so it didn't feel too repetitive.
Right.
But my main one it was a game that's already out, but Devil May Cry 5,
Yeah.
the special edition.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
mean,
like,
yeah. I mean, tell me what you think of that because at first I was thinking, no way can this be Devil May Cry 6? It's way too soon. And then I saw it, and it kind of made sense what it was. They've kind of done this before, right? I think they did it with Devil May Cry 4 I think they did the exact same thing when they brought Virgil back, and then you could play Virgil's side of the story.
yeah, they did it with 3, didn't they? Then they
And
thought,
yeah, and then they did it the remake, I think, didn't they? You could
oh no,
play.
that was DLC, wasn't it? Yeah, DLC.
Yeah.
That was.
I mean, but yeah, tell us what you think of this. Like, what was it that intrigued you with it?
I don't know. It looked like you could see his part of the story. I'm just hoping it's just not a start cutscene and an end cutscene, like
Yeah.
3 and 4 basically did. And so hopefully it's like a whole story for him. And it looks like they've put like a new mode in it or something because there's so many bad guys on the screen at once that
Yeah.
weren't available in like the original game. So yeah, hopefully I get to see like what more stuff I've included. And I'm just hoping a full Virgil storyline, like what he was doing during the whole story.
Well, one of the big things to take away from that as well was obviously we found out later on in the event was obviously we found out the release date for the consoles. It did say it was going to be a PlayStation 5 launch title. Well, DLC
Digital.
launch title. Yeah. So I mean, obviously we know that it's kind of so that kind of confirms when this DLC is coming out. That's pretty soon, right?
And that's another plus for me to get a PS5 day one as well.
I mean, I think it's going to be on PlayStation 4 as well, right?
Probably will be, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a bonus, I guess. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about, like that kind of stood out?
Yeah. Harry Potter. I'm pretty sure we said it a few podcasts ago that Harry Potter RPG would probably like be quite big. But I'm not sure. It looked like an MMO to me.
Okay.
It reminded me of Fable.
Yeah, I got that as well, Steve.
You think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get any MMO vibes from it. I mean, me and Adam were watching it, and we were kind of like, okay, we'll talk about the styles, of the graphic style. It looks good. We're hoping, obviously, for a reveal trailer, it did look impressive, and I can't wait to see more. And that's kind of what a reveal trailer is for, I guess. But so far, so good for where I stand. Like, I think it's definitely got promise to be like big and has potential.
I agree. I think it looks really good, but the problem I saw with it was to do with the story. I think like the fact that it's from the 1800s, so it's 100 or 200 years before Harry Potter's actually set, is great. But the characters, like the teachers and stuff, seem to mimic the teachers that were in Harry Potter, which I thought was a bit weird. Why do that? Why not create completely new characters?
Yeah.
And it's going to miss some of the charm of the Harry Potter films, but that might work in its favour for people that aren't Harry Potter fans who want a good kind of wizard witch RPG style game. I'm impressed with it. I was really surprised.
Yeah. Good reveal for sure, I think. Is there any other standout games you guys want to talk about? Because I feel like we covered quite a lot.
Not games, but PS Plus.
Yes, I think we need to talk about this. I mean, Adam, do you want to start off with this one? Because I remember what you said about it seems what I kind of thought about it.
Well, I actually want to get Steven's take on it because you were mentioning that Sony needed to do something similar to the Game Pass. I think it's a baby step in that direction.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near what they're doing. But the thing is, they're releasing, and me and Nathan spoke about it when we were watching it. Like things like Last of Us have already been released on PS Plus, and other games look like they've been released on PS Plus before. Do you know, the 3-month games? So I think it's just a bit of a here's something. What did you reckon?
Yeah, it's like you said, baby steps. I'm more interested whether you get an upgrade or something to PS5 if you downloaded it, but I don't think they do that.
No.
Yeah, it is baby steps, but I think going forward, we can do something later on with the PS5 once like these PS4 titles slowly die off and stuff like that. But it's something that's there in it, so we can just hopefully build on it in the future.
And I think for me, it depends how much PS Plus is going to cost now. If like I was saying to you, Nathan, if it's 10, 12 quid a month, obviously I don't think it'd be that much, but I can see them £7 a month being what they're going for, and I think that's quite expensive to play online. I don't care about having a back catalogue of games. I'd rather have a cheaper online, or you can get the back catalogue plus £3 a month extra or whatever. Do you know what I mean? I don't want it the way they'll probably make it too pricey, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think this is their answer, no, in terms of the competition. And like you said, I do think it's good baby steps. The thing that I'm kind of thinking about now is they didn't mention PlayStation Now. They just mentioned the PlayStation Plus titles. And I mean, I don't know if I'm being a bit harsh on the announcement because it's, free games is free games. You cannot really argue with that. But like Adam said before, it's like I swear most of them games were already on the PlayStation Plus at some point in the month, and obviously if you miss that month, then it's gone for good. Now it just seems to be, well, if you miss it, it will still be there next month or the month after, which is I mean, it's nice that they're doing that. But the fact that they did not mention the PlayStation Now, which let's be honest, that's definitely the more like head-to-head kind of competition in terms of like the other subscription service on the other console. I think this is a good start. We'll see where it goes, but I don't know if this is just them being like, this is crowd control now, and we've done our bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, with that being said, should we talk about one of the big things? And I say big things, it's only like we're like 6 weeks away from the release date, and we've only just found out now, which is absolutely bizarre. But that's the release date of the consoles and the price. I will say, if I get this wrong, then please correct me. I think the PlayStation Digital is 360, and the PlayStation, the non-digital, the disc one, is 450.
Yeah.
Is anyone surprised by this?
No. I think that's what I said or Stephen said.
Well, I looked back on the notes. Actually, Steven said the PlayStation Digital was going to cost $250. I think you kind of thought they were going to match the Xbox one. I'd take it.
Oh, I thought I went higher, but I can't remember.
And then you said the non-digital PlayStation was going to cost. I think you said you were pretty close. I think you said 425. So you're just like £25 off. But you did say in the same post that you were going to play it safe and say 450, which does make sense because obviously, which is what they went for, and it does match the Series X in terms of power, whatever. So the same price range for that. Is this a good price tag for either the consoles? I mean, and also with this new price tag, does it swerve you guys? Because I know you guys were not going to go digital, and I was the same. Does this swerve you away to go digital, or does it just confirm your purchase with the disc one?
For me, it depends on the price of the digital games. If they keep them £10 more expensive than the physical copies, then no. If they match the price of the physical copies with the digital copies, then I might be more likely to go digital, to be honest with you.
Yeah, what about you, Colin?
I'm sticking with physical.
And are you happy with the 450 as well?
Yeah, I expected it to be about £100 more.
Yeah.
So I'm like the physical as well, because that service that we're offering for the download digital games, it just wasn't enough at the minute. It seems pretty rushed, to be honest, that service. So
yeah, it seems
physical.
Like I said, that definitely did come across as crowd control to me, as in, okay, we know you're talking about the Game Pass here and there these days, but we've got these sort of thing. It like I said, free games is free games. It's pretty decent, I guess. But one thing I was concerned about, and it's not that they didn't talk about it, they just didn't really highlight it. And I wanted to know the PlayStation 5's launch titles. Is Spider-Man a launch title?
It didn't really say what. The only one that it specifically said was Devil May Cry, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys know this, a lot of third-party games are actually, I know, I can't remember which it is. It's been about 3 or 4 games now that were coming out after November 10th, but they've actually pushed it back to November 10th just to meet the next-gen deadlines. Obviously, PlayStation in most countries is coming out on the 12th, so it's pretty much going to hit that launch date for that console too. But in terms of this event, I really thought they'll just go, okay, here's your 5 games for the launch title. Are you happy with them? Because at the moment, I remember you saying, Adam, you said, well, this game could be a good launch title. It's just we just didn't get them confirming it. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's difficult for games companies at the minute to commit to things like that. It feels like a lot of games, especially exclusives, the release dates are getting thrown all over the place, and no one really knows when they're going to be coming out. So I think for PlayStation to commit, because we are still 2 months away, so I reckon we'll get a solid list or a finalized list within 4 weeks of release. And to be honest with you, like you guys have said, if Devil May Cry, wait, what else have we got confirmed on release? Anything at all or not?
Well, it's heavily like suggested that Spider-Man is, right. Am I right in saying that?
No, it was Holiday. Wasn't it Holiday 2020?
Oh, you're right.
It did, because a good point that you said was the Christmas theme, yeah. But I think if you got, all right, so you guys now have all said you're getting the physical one. I assume Stephen, Nathan, you're getting it on day one. Colin, I don't think you are. But if they say, all right, well, fine, only Devil May Cry is the release date game, and maybe one or two others, none of the big ones, he's still gonna get it.
I gotta admit,
That surprised me.
Yeah, that surprised me as well, actually. Go on, Stephen. Your take seems way more interesting.
I'm just saying that if it's just Devil May Cry alone and what your GTA 5 online for free.
Fortnite.
And
Fortnite.
You got Fortnite, yeah, with its upgrade, what we've not said what it's upgrading yet. But I don't know. I don't know when that was Spider-Man's out, but delayed that Kenya Bridges Spirit, which I was looking forward to. That's going to be early next year now. So,
I'd also say no mention of Ratchet & Clank and Horizon Zero Dawn. And I'm not saying I want a new gameplay trailer. I would have loved the gameplay trailer. I would have loved gameplay for Horizon, but I'm more about no like release dates on them either. Like, we don't even know when they're coming out. We're just guessing some point next year, early next year. They said in the previous event. I mean, I was a bit taken back by that.
I think regardless, the PS5 will sell out, regardless of the lineup for day one. Like, and I know I read earlier today that they've been having issues with the production, and they're making 5 million less than they originally thought. So they've cut the production. I think it was 16 million down to 11 million on release. So they'll and that's still a lot more than any other consoles done. I think they'll still sell out of them though. I don't think they're that concerned about. They don't have to worry about the lineup, I don't think, because the games that they said are coming, people are just going to want the PS5 to play Fortnite at 10 FPS faster, or to play this Call of Duty, or to play whatever new BR's out at the time. I think that'll keep people going for the first few months.
Well, can I just suggest, what about obviously the Microsoft side of things? They're releasing a next-gen console for $250. I mean, do you think that's going to affect it at all? The fact that obviously we're not getting the big exclusives on the launch. By the looks of it, it could very well change. But obviously, Cyberpunk's probably going to be the biggest game now for this year, I think. Do you think that's going to affect the sales? Obviously, being able to buy a next gen console and then obviously play your Assassin's Creed and play your Cyberpunk on the next gen systems or whatever for $250, especially for Christmas.
I think, yeah. I think Sony are playing a dangerous game. I don't think they've got it safe at the minute. Like, I think Xbox could quite easily mop up casual gamers. If someone plays Call of Duty, FIFA, Fortnite, all the bog standard, most popular games that there are, and they look at the Xbox and they look at the PlayStation, and they think, well, I can play all them Xbox games, because they'll probably know about the Game Pass, but even if they don't, they're paying £100-200 less. Yeah, I think Xbox. I don't think it's going to win long term. Yeah, but I think for the first year it could do some damage to Sony.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I think when they announced the Series S, that price tag is extremely competitive, like absolutely extremely competitive. And now with the PlayStation 5. I mean, I'm not too sure, but let's just assume that Spider-Man's coming out on launch. I don't even think that one title is going to be enough, in terms of like, oh, my console is better than your console. Because obviously there's going to be people obviously picking one or the other. But obviously, if you're paying $250 and you don't have to buy a game with it, you got like over 100 and something games on the day of the console. Do you know what I mean? I think they've made it. I think they've played a good game there, like you said, and I think they've made it extremely competitive with the S. I think the S is going to be the one that sells out more. But yeah, I mean, I am quite surprised by you, Steven, the fact that this event's actually swayed you not to buy it on day one.
It's not the event in general. It's just like, but we like you said, like we're not really knowing what's actually launch titles, what's actually coming out on the same day as the console itself. And I was hoping this today would actually got a few answers from it. Nothing.
Sorry, Adam actually reminded me before. I just want to quickly get your opinion on because I said when I watched the Spider-Man trailer, I thought it looked really good. I was impressed with a lot of new things to show on. But with it being so like Christmas, did you see like the environments? It was all like Christmas holiday kind of season. I don't know. It's kind of in a weird way. It's kind of worried me that it's going to be quite a short title because it's so. It kind of seemed like the theme of the whole game kind of seemed Christmas, the holidays sort of season. You wouldn't launch a whole. If it was a main game, you wouldn't launch the whole game around one Christmas sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It definitely seems like it's themed to that.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a short game anyway. Because they're treating it as like a lost legacy expansion to the original Spider-Man game, which was already short anyway.
Yeah.
I can only imagine it's been like 8 to 10 hours long, if that.
That really worries me. Don't say that, please.
I agree. I think I think Nathan, you seem to be treating this like it's a new game or a number 2, and it's not. It's a expansion, like Steven said. It's DLC.
It's not going to be a full price game, I think, though. That's the only thing. I think it'd be 30 to 40 pounds.
Because you did say this last time as well, Steven. Like it's similar to the Uncharted. I mean, that was not 8 hours, right?
I know, but Uncharted 4 was a really long game, and for like the expansion to be like maybe half of that or something similar, that's like 20 to 30 hours. But if you're technically half in an already shorter game in like 10 to 12 hours, and you're only getting 6 to 8, maybe 10 hours of gameplay.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna come down to the price tag, I guess. I mean, you're right in what you're saying, but I don't like it. As in, I don't care how short or long the previous title is. Like, if they're releasing the game that short, they've either got to do something really heavily with the price tag, or just kind of extend on it, make it longer, I guess. But we'll guess how much it costs. Right? If it's 30 quid and it's 8 hours, but we don't know if it is going to be 8 hours. This is speculation. But that does worry me. I wouldn't even really want to pay £15 for an 8 hour long game. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many great games out now that cost like £14.99.
Get prepared to pay £30 for it
then. Yeah. I mean, is there anything else anyone wants to talk about?
Well, I just want to know. On that subject before Spider-Man, what lineup would get you to buy the PS5, Stephen? Release day, or even just before Christmas?
Just games that I wish that came out, or games that have been announced, or something.
Games that have been announced. The bare minimum that would get you to buy a PS5.
I'll say that at least 2 big ones like Ratchet and Clank, and
that All-Stars game. The driver.
Yeah, that Destruction. Yeah. Something like that. If 2 of them games came out on launch, then yeah. Okay. 2 be enough.
I don't think you're gonna get that, to be honest with you.
No.
Get what?
I don't think you're gonna get 2 big games like that on
No.
But they have said Spider-Man's Holiday 2020, so they're definitely gonna release that before Christmas. They are they're crunch the fuck out.
Crunch them dead.
They are crunching them dead. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work. That's coming out before Christmas.
Yeah. And can I just say one thing about that? It's not really just about this event. It's about how Sony do their events, because when they do an event, they do smash it, I think, in most like areas. But I do feel like they concentrate on putting on an entertaining show. As in, like, when you watch that 40-minute long event, you kind of want to put on a good show. And what I mean by that is I feel like they announce a lot of stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be announced on their event. I know a lot of people hated the Microsoft one, and I understand why. But a lot of the games all the games they announced kind of made sense in one way or the other, whether it be a day one Game Pass game or whether it be a console like launch. I feel like them, announcing stuff like Hitman or announcing Resident Evil 8 is good to announce, but it doesn't necessarily help this situation they're in now in terms of their PS5. Do you know what I mean? It's like I said this to Adam when we were watching it when he announced the God of War game, which I'm hyped for. Obviously, I love the first God of War game, but to me that was just like the same as Fable. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you can get away with one game like that and announcing it like that, but I just feel like sometimes they put on a bit too much of a show, and then the games they're announcing now aren't even because like going off the last event, I thought Horizon or Ratchet and Clank was going to be a launch title game. I definitely thought Spider-Man was going to be a launch title game, but the way they present their events, they kind of overhype it a bit too much and not really, as in filling in the cracks, as in like you assume too much on their behalf because they want to get them big, headlines out on the internet sort of thing. Obviously, when in their last event, a lot of people talk about Resident Evil 8. Some people talk about Hitman, sort of thing like that. But they're not even necessarily exclusives as well. Do you know what I mean? Unless some point down the line something happens with them titles. But I mean, do you guys like the way they do their events, like in this kind of like big burst or no? Like they like to get those announcements like drop the mic.
I like the way they do it. It's entertaining. Like, I don't want to see graphs and everything. I want to just see games. Like you say, they shouldn't really be announcing Resident Evil or showing Resident Evil. When are they supposed to show that?
Never, probably. I mean, it's like Capcom's game, right? Like,
but Capcom doesn't have like a platform like that to show it off.
Yeah, but they've got their own marketing team to announce games and stuff. I mean, you could be very right. I mean, but 90% of games aren't announced on like Sony's or Microsoft or Nintendo's platforms.
No, but like having it on this gets more eyes on it.
Exactly. Yeah. But I feel like it benefits. Doesn't really benefit.
It benefits everyone.
Okay, cool. Like how?
Because it's showing
Drops
off
the mic.
Well, not even that, because I don't think there's going to be many. The headlines are going to be about the price and the date, not the games that were in it. Maybe God of War, but just having a 40-minute show with pure games and then a price at the end, that would be great.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think they do put on a good show. I always enjoy the events, to be honest. Maybe I was being a bit too harsh on that. But is there anything else anyone wants to say before we send off? Feel like we talked about a good amount here.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Please consider giving our channel a subscribe or check out our other videos. We've got a lot of other group discussions like this one. Until then, we'll see you in the next video, guys.
GG's.
GG's, of course, yeah.